Hello students, welcome to this second video for lesson 5.4, day 1. We're doing quick graphs using slope-intercept form. So if you have not watched video 1, please go back and do that now. This is video 2. In video 1, we went over what slope-intercept form looks like. It's y equals mx plus b. We went over the basic steps of graphing using slope-intercept form, and we started doing those steps, and we got to step 3, which was to use our m, which is our slope, right? M is slope, right? I'm gonna write even right above it that m equals slope just to show you guys m equals slope, right? So we're gonna use that slope to find another point. And remember, anytime I have an m that is just a whole number, so it's not a fraction, that whole number is always over 1, okay? So now my slope is a 2 over 1, all right? Since this is a positive, this tells me how many spaces I need to go up and to the right, okay? So I need to go 2 spaces up and 1 space to the right, and that'll be from my y-intercept. So my y-intercept is right here. My slope tells me I need to go 2 spaces up and 1 space to the right, okay? So I'm gonna go 2 spaces up, so 1, 2 spaces up, then 1 space to the right, and I'm gonna make my next point, okay? And now, as you can see, step 4 is to draw my line with arrows. So I grab my straight edge and I draw my line onto my graph, and I make sure to include arrows on both sides of my line. Okay. So that's what that example looks like. We use the B, which is my y-intercept. That's the first point we plotted. And then we use my M, which was 2 or 2 over 1, to go 2 spaces up and 1 to the right to plot my next point. And that's how we graph that line. Okay. So now we have a couple examples, and this is exactly what your homework looks like. Okay. So here's our parent equation. We're supposed to graph y equals 4x minus 2. Okay. Y equals 4x minus 2. I'm going to box my M, or my B rather, and I'm going to box my M. Okay. So now we're supposed to fill in right here, right? So this is my M, and this is my B. So my y-intercept then would be in red, right? My B is my y-intercept. My y-intercept, make sure we include this negative in front, is negative 2, okay? Y equals mx plus b. In this case, it's a negative, so it's going to be a negative 2 for my y-intercept, okay? And then my slope is my m, right? My slope is my m. It's a 4, and remember, anytime it's a whole number, we're going to put that number over 1, so it's really 4 over 1. So really that tells me to go 4 spaces up and 1 to the right. Okay, that tells me to go 4 spaces up and 1 to the right. But we always start at our y-intercept, and our y-intercept is going to be negative 2. So I'm going to start at negative 2 on the y-axis. That is right there. That's my y-intercept. And then like it says, I'm going to go 4 spaces up and 1 to the right. Okay, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces up, 1 space to the right. I make my next point. I grab my straight edge and I make my line. Okay. So I make my line through those 2 points, and I make sure to include the arrows on that line. And now I'm done with that problem. This is exactly what your homework looks like. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do the next one. So here's our parent equation. We have 2/3 x minus 4. Okay. Just like before, I'm going to box my b. Okay. That's my b. And then I'm going to box my m. Okay, that's my m. So my y-intercept is my b. My y-intercept is my b. It's a negative 4. And my m is my slope. So my slope is going to be 2 over 3. And again, what that tells me to do is to go 2 spaces up and 3 to the right. Okay. So we're going to go back to step 1. It's already in y equals mx plus b form, so we don't need to worry about that. The second step is to draw or to graph our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is negative 4. So I go to negative 4 on the y-axis, which is right there. My third step is to use my m to plot my next point. My m is 2 over 3. So that tells me I need to go 2 spaces up. So I'm going to go 1, 2 spaces up, and 3 spaces to the right. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 spaces to the right. Then my last step is to draw my line through my points, with arrows. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I draw my line through my points. I add my arrows on. Okay. And we are done with that example. Okay, so if you guys need extra homework help, please email me. You know my email, it's on Schoology, or go to the homework of the day tutorial every day at 3 with Ms. Salazar. Thank you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned for the homework help video for worksheet 5.4.